Hello, creators. How are you guys? It's great to hang out with you again for another live stream like we do every Monday here at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got a great topic to talk about here today about the whole Instagram TV stuff that was announced last week. And I've been playing with it a little bit. And I think there's a lot of things here that we should be considering as creators in terms of what this means for us. Is this like the YouTube killer people are saying it is? Other people are saying it's just going to be like a huge flop. It's going to be like nothing. I heard some teenagers saying like, what's going on, YouTube? Just like stay in your lane, or Instagram, stay in your lane. Like, what are you doing here? So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out, but I want to talk about that with you guys today with a friend of mine, Rachel, who you will meet in a second. For those of you who are sponsors of this channel, first of all, thank you. And right after this stream, we will be doing our live call-in show where you can like call on the phone and we can talk more about this if you'd like and all your other questions. And so if you're not a sponsor, you know how to do that. There's a button down below, and the rest of us will be hanging out soon. Also, quick thank you to Trina, who's in the chat. She will be taking your questions as we go through this live stream and putting them in front of me and the guests here who you will meet here in a second. And so even while we're recording our podcast and talking about this, please ask your questions, and Trina will be taking them and putting them in front of us, and we will just get through as many of them as we can here at the end, and we're really looking forward to doing that for you guys. So thank you for hanging out. Let me introduce you to someone right here. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hey, Tim. I'm great.
Good.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So we're gonna find out who she is in just a second, but let me hit the recording on the podcast and we'll jump into this. Hello, creators, and welcome to another Video Creators Podcast episode. It is great to hang out with you again like we do every Tuesday on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify. I think that's all the places, and everywhere else you've listened to your podcast episodes. We have a great topic for you guys here. This is a huge announcement that came out last week about Instagram TV and has a lot of implications for us as creators. We want to talk with you about what's different about it than YouTube, how it's similar to YouTube, how it's going to impact you as a YouTube creator, and some of the best ways and tips that you can best leverage YouTube and Instagram to really grow your audiences together with that. So a lot of that coming up. But first of all, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine who's here with us. Hey, Rachel, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. So it's good to be on with you today.
Yeah. So Rachel and I have known each other for a few years. We tried to live stream many years ago. It didn't really work out. So I'm glad that we get to do it here today. So if you don't know Rachel, and kind of set her up, and then I'll let her add anything else that she wants. But she's actually a former YouTube employee just up until like a few months ago, or how long ago was it?
April.
Okay.
Yeah, April. I had been there 7.5 years.
Wow. At YouTube. And you played a lot of different roles there. Can you name all of them? Because it was a bunch of them.
Gosh, no, actually I split my 7.5 years between Google and YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Did a little ping ponging. So many hats, so many different teams and incredible jobs while I was there. But I would say the underpinning throughout all of the jobs that I had was, that I was a creator advocate and that I was focused on brand building in some way.
Yeah. And then your last gig before you resigned was working with other influencers, even on Instagram, and helping them kind of start working on their YouTube audience. Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So after many years of figuring out what worked well on YouTube for all of the existing creators on the platform, we were trying to take those best practices to influencers and personalities who had the ability to create really compelling content, but just hadn't quite figured out how to do that on YouTube effectively yet.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Perfect. So you're like perfect to talk about both of these worlds of the Instagram world and the YouTube world here together.
Yeah, I don't know if perfect is the right word. I'm not the foremost expert on Instagram, but in addition to it being a huge part of my prior role at YouTube, I'm also a super user myself.
Yeah,
So
you have multiple accounts. I follow a few of them. I don't know if you have more, but
I think I have some that you don't even follow.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, I guess I need to catch up on some of the other stuff maybe that you're doing. So now what you're doing is you have a lot of expertise in helping big brands grow bigger. And now you're bringing a lot of that expertise and working with small businesses and medium-sized businesses, especially on the female-led businesses, and really helping those type of people and entrepreneurs just really grow what they're doing into a bigger brand. And so, you guys can find out more about her. There's links in the description of the show notes there. One of them is an article that you wrote that goes on Medium about the Instagram TV. So for people who might not know what that is yet, can you just give us a brief update on what Instagram television is?
Sure. So Instagram TV or IGTV is a new feature. It's also a standalone app. You can download it separately from Instagram, where long form video content is now made available. It's at the forefront. So anybody on Instagram can launch an IGTV channel, and certainly they're trying to promote it in a way that the majority of viewers and consumers on Instagram are watching long form video there now. It's basically their answer to YouTube.
Yeah, and there's a lot of similarities in that you upload an edited video, you add a title and a description, no tags, thankfully, because those are annoying, and then you add a thumbnail, and then you post it, and then you can see view counts that are public, not like stories where they're private. There's comments where people can interact and on these, and it's up to 10 minutes long. Up to 10 minutes long for most of us. If you have a bigger following on Instagram, I think they give you up to an hour of content. Yeah. Wow. And I just recently read that they might be rolling that out to all accounts at some point in the future. Okay. That long content. But for most of us, I think we're capped at 10 minutes. Is there any analytics and stuff that we get access to in there too that you know of in terms of like retention and such?
Yeah, so they have a pretty lightweight IGTV analytics dashboard. It's all within the Instagram app or the standalone IGTV app. And the most important analytic, in my opinion, across YouTube and IGTV is viewer retention. So you can see exactly where viewers are dropping off or getting bored with you and swiping away, just like you can on YouTube. And that's huge. That's something that nobody had access to or remotely had access to within stories or even live content.
That's like, so when I look at retention graphs on Facebook video, for example, versus YouTube, like night and day difference on the same exact video. And so I generally, at least for me anyway, audience retention on Facebook is a couple seconds and then it just tanks, whereas on YouTube it's okay, it's just kind of slow, gradual over time, and so it'd be interesting to see what a mobile only platform looks like in terms of retention, and especially in portrait mode, where these are some things that are different. It's like portrait only. Limited amount of time to upload and limited analytics and things, but I think it'll be interesting to see how what the data looks like. Now, I don't really have a huge. I have a personal Instagram account and I have the video creators Instagram account, and I think with something like this, it tempts me a little bit more to just take some of the videos I've been doing on YouTube and just upload them also to Instagram. IGTV. What do you think about that strategy? Are you no, or?
I think a lot of YouTube creators will have that same thought, okay, let's just leverage the stuff that I've already spent so much time creating, put it on my profile and see how it does. At the very least, I'll have a library of content, so when new people find me, there's something there to watch. But ultimately, thinking more strategically, I think the type of content you will want to be posting on your IGTV is a little bit different than what you're posting on YouTube. Orientation is certainly a big thing. I'm not sure, if you were to crop your videos vertically if that would even work, or if it would be very obvious that you had just done kind of a hack job to port it over. But I also think as you start paying attention to those analytics and you start noticing the differences in your Instagram followers, in your YouTube subscribers, you'll find that they may be, different gender, different age groups, and they might want something different from you.
Yeah. So my only IGTV video right now on the Video Creators Instagram account is I just took one of my normal videos and just uploaded it, and it looks okay in the sense I'm thankfully sitting in the center of the frame, and so the two sides that are cropped off, you can't see what's happening there, which whenever I'm talking, that part's fine. But any text that comes on that's like next to me, completely cropped off, which is almost better if it would be completely cropped off as opposed to just like having like the edge of the one letter on the screen, then you're missing something.
Yeah,
so
you don't look repurposed.
Yeah, so the two things that I would either do is either one, when my editor works on this, is just make sure that anything on screen is outside the zone it just won't show up on Instagram TV. So there won't be any visuals, just be me there talking. Or create a whole sequence in 16:9 widescreen, and then create a new sequence that's portrait, and just copy and paste everything into that, and then just click and drag where the text goes, so it's underneath of me instead. And might have to reformat it a little bit, but it's way easier than having to re-edit the whole video, right?
Right.
So
right.
I think one of those two solutions.
Sorry to cut you off. I'm just a little excited.
Yeah.
One of the other things I will be curious to see is if, just like you're also recording for a podcast right now, if you could simultaneously be filming this video interview mobily, using your mobile phone, just prop it up on a tripod or something.
Yeah.
Because I think the whole idea is that you should start thinking about creating with mobile first in mind for IGTV. They want you filming it on your phone and editing within mobile apps. And anytime you're kind of taking it out of that mobile environment, it's going to feel a little bit different. And the flavor of Instagram is a little more raw, a little more grainy, and that is because it's all done mobily.
Yeah. One of the other a difference between the two platforms, at least from what I've seen, is like search is a thing on YouTube, right?
Thing.
Not so much. There is search, I guess, on Instagram. I think about it. And there is a discovery tab on IGTV, which might be likened to maybe suggested videos on YouTube. Are those similar features or not really?
The idea behind them is certainly similar. With discovery and suggested videos, yeah, the idea is to expose you to video content and creators that you're not already following or subscribed to. I think because there's not as much content available on IGTV right now, that what you're going to be exposed to is quite limited. And the algorithm is certainly going to come into play quite a bit, trying to push what has been deemed the best or most engaging content to you.
Yeah. And
you won't have, you just won't have the breadth of topics and demographics that you do on YouTube, where, as we know, everywhere on the planet has representation.
Yeah, we talked a lot here on this channel and on this podcast about search and discovery on YouTube in terms of just direct search and collaborations and suggested videos and all that stuff. But on Instagram, what do you find is the main discovery mechanism, especially for IGTV type of stuff? Do you have an idea of what that might be yet? I know it's really super new.
Hashtags. I know that you can include hashtags within your video content, and just like they work on stories and individual photo posts, I think that's like their answer to tagging and adding, like we do on YouTube. So that will probably become more and more relevant to you over time as the algorithm understands what kind of content you are actively searching for and using in your content. But otherwise, I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. I think that there are going to be some celebrities that emerge and like concentric circles around them.
Like
that
Vine?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, collaboration is going to be huge.
Are you going to be one of them?
I don't think so.
Well, hey,
never say never.
I have 7 kids, as you know, and so I mostly post about personal stuff. So far, it's not really taken off, but you got cute kids, so, maybe yours will take off. I don't know.
Yeah, I posted in that Medium article over the weekend that I'm such a fan of stories, IG stories. Mm-hmm. Like that kind of fulfills my video creation need for the most part. And it is because I have such a hectic life with 2 little kids. And, I'm much more likely to film 15 or maybe 30-second snippets throughout the day than I am to have like a big dedicated block of time to film something a little more substantial.
Sure. Yeah. And I do that same thing, but I use YouTube Stories feature, which is in beta, and working with that team on that product. So that's where I usually put that kind of stuff. But I should, I should, it's just hard. I wish I could simultaneously post the Instagram stories and YouTube stories, but neither platform kind of lets you do that, obviously. But
I know. I do see a lot of people cross-pollinate between Snapchat and Instagram, though, if you download.
And then re-upload.
Snippet, yeah.
Cool. What do you think is going to be the impact of this for YouTube creators? Will it impact YouTube? Is this the killer everyone's saying it's, not everyone, but some people are saying it's going to be, or is this going to be the flop some people are saying it's going to be? What's the impact here?
Yeah, too soon to say. I don't think it's going to be an YouTube killer. Not by a long shot, and for a number of reasons. In fact, I think that this could actually have a huge benefit on the hardcore YouTube community. I'm sure you've been uploading videos here for so long that each and every year, as more creators emerge on the platform, it gets harder and harder to grow your audience and to be discovered. There's just like a huge saturation of, more casual creators popping on all of the time, competing for those views. So with the advent of IGTV, which is really designed to capture those more casual or new long-form video creators, if they are spending more time on Instagram creating their content there, it might actually open up opportunity for people who have been at their YouTube channel for a while.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, you won't have as much saturation of emerging creators coming to the platform.
Do you feel like that would split people too much? Like, so now you kind of need to be on both because some people just want to watch an Instagram TV because that's for some, versus YouTube. Do you think that would happen?
I think it depends on your audience and where they spend the most time. And I think that there's going to be a category or a vertical split as well. What I mean by that is there are a lot of people who succeed on YouTube because they do things like how-to videos or cooking tutorials, things that people are actively searching for all of the time. It's like YouTube's bread and butter, how to do stuff. And that's really hard to do in a vertical format. I'm sure people will find creative ways around this, but I think YouTube is still going to be the platform of choice for how-to, tech review, certainly gaming, different pockets of die-hard YouTube community are going to be there, and it just depends where your audience is spending time. So,
do you feel like there's something in like that? Well, maybe I should say it this way. Like, I feel like the demographic on Instagram is different than the demographic, generally speaking, obviously, than that's on YouTube. Like, if someone wants to figure out like how do I change the filter in my refrigerator, which is the thing I need to do, then like YouTube's a natural place where you go to look for that. You don't probably think like, let's go to Instagram. But what are you saying that you feel like YouTube will become more of an educational platform and Instagram more of an entertainment platform where things are probably more shareable and less searchable maybe, or not really?
It could become that way. It could be that Instagram is certainly better suited for entertainers and people who are just showing up with their personality and want to hang out with you. Kind of, the vloggers, if you will. And YouTube becomes more about learning and sharing and inspiring and educating.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the end all be all of that type of content on YouTube, not by a long shot. You know, at the end of the day, YouTube still has much greater brand equity than Instagram. I think I read that it's still like the #2 brand in the world. Teens still prefer YouTube over Instagram.
Yeah.
In a recent poll. So
right.
Everybody sees the value in continuing to create content on YouTube. If they choose to do it on both places, that's fine, but I don't think it's going to take away anything except perhaps those really casual dabbling type creators.
Right. It seems YouTube said at VidCon last week that they have 1.8 billion monthly active logged in users, and Instagram around the same time, so they have 1 billion. So it's almost twice as much, not quite, twice as much, 80% more to be exact, active logged in users. So it's a lot more on YouTube. But Instagram's only been around for a few years compared to YouTube that's been around since 2005. So I feel like when we look at what's happened in other areas in social media and other video platforms, I remember when Facebook came out and they with like a big push for video, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna be the YouTube killer. Facebook video is gonna be." And what we've learned is that nothing happened to YouTube, right? Nothing really changes at all. If anything, it's like Facebook video just became a different tool that's reaching a different audience with a different goal, they're looking for different things than YouTube. And so it's not, they're not, in my opinion anyway, not competing with each other as much as they are complementing each other in different ways that the other platform just doesn't do.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see here too. People love though to get all worked up when
it's good for clicks.
Yeah, YouTube hasn't had a real competitor. You know, they've been the market.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder if they will, just because and it's getting a little off topic, but I think if anyone's going to make it, it's going to be Amazon, and they got Twitch, of course. But I think but even if Amazon does it, and it would still be something different. They're not going to clone YouTube. It would still be unique in some sort of way that makes it like Facebook and Instagram video, and kind of just, something for everybody. What do you think? How can a YouTube creator best leverage this new opportunity to grow their audience or to expand off platform, or what's the main way that you feel like YouTube creators should be thinking about Instagram television?
If your YouTube channel is still your main hub, the place where the majority of your community hangs out, think of IGTV as just one more way to cross promote what's happening on your YouTube channel. Think of Instagram in general as a place to create content that is a lot easier, a lot quicker hitting, that can capture people and just kind of direct them to your YouTube content on a regular basis. And think of Instagram as a way to introduce your YouTube channel to new people. Because of hashtags and because of the different collaboration opportunities available on Instagram, it's really just, another funnel to wherever you want to drive traffic, whether that's your .com destination, your YouTube channel, your live. So maybe create a snippet, a 3-minute version or a 1-minute trailer of your feature film that you're posting on YouTube, and, get people engaged with you and learning more about you as a personality, and get them to sign up for the bigger deal over on your YouTube channel.
I think that's how I've been kind of using it, is especially for video creators. It's this is where I do the teaching, the education, the people who just want the info download type of stuff. And Tim, I don't care about your family or whatever you're doing between video, whatever. But on Instagram, that's like the place where people who are interested in that can kind of be like, yeah, I want to kind of take the next step, and I want to just see a little bit more. It's a little bit more of the human side. And to be totally honest, like my personal Instagram at Tim Schmoyer is just completely personal. There's like almost nothing there related to video stuff at all. So I'm really bad about doing that on the video creators account. But I feel like I should probably get better at that now, especially since I feel like there is an opportunity for me to repurpose some of the content I'm already doing for Instagram television, but just make a different cut, like a different edit of it so that it fits that platform natively. Instead of just like, hey, let's take the 16:9 and hope it crops okay on Instagram, and just doing that. Are there any other opportunities or best practices or something you feel like a creator should leverage when it comes to Instagram TV?
Oh gosh. Like I said, yeah, well, I think collaboration is going to be a really big deal, in terms of breaking through on Instagram TV. Like I said, Instagram is pretty savvy at picking out those accounts, already in stories and people who are going live all of the time, or who are posting 4 or 5 photos a day, and bolstering them and making sure they get as much exposure as possible. So aligning yourself with other personalities or accounts who have that type of behavior is certainly great, as long as it makes sense for you and your brand. It's not too dissimilar from finding people to collaborate with on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Like, again, you really just have to think about who's my core audience? Are they on YouTube? Am I wasting a bunch of time trying to serve them on a platform where they're not spending as much time? If my Instagram followers are different people entirely, exactly what you said, figure out the behind the scenes or the different cut or the other facet of my life that those people might be interested in to share instead.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and back to the collaborations thing, I think that was like Vine grew on collaborations. If you think back to that mobile-only platform, well, they had a desktop version, but it was primarily mobile-only. That, those collaborations can be huge, and tagging each other, and I just got back at 2 a.m. from VidCon today, and I spent all day Saturday down in Hollywood shooting a big video that's coming out on Video Creators channel here probably in the next few months. And we drove right by some of the apartment building where a lot of the Viners just all moved in together. Like they literally just became roommates and constantly collaborating. That was like their strategy. Is one person grew, like the other 7 people in the apartment grew as well, and vice versa. And so I think that is an underestimated thing. A lot of people don't think a lot about. They think more about just like doing it on their own. And I think if any other part in life where you think about like what works well, it's always like linking arms and partnering with other people and supporting each other that have common beliefs and shared vision for what we're trying to do here. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
Those of you guys who are listening to the podcast recording of this, we're actually live streaming this conversation between Rachel and I, and the chat has some good questions that we want to jump into and answer, and we think will be valuable for you guys who are listening as well. Melody Lane is one of the community sponsors, I guess now called members. I got to switch my language in my head now. So thank you, Melody. But she asks, Rachel, can you monetize Instagram TV?
I don't think you can monetize right now in app. I think that there are going to be a lot of brands looking to sponsor IGTV video content right out of the gate. It's already happening. Instagram has said that they're working on a way to include advertising on IGTV, and certainly that will come with a rev share model, probably similar to YouTube's. I'm not sure when that will happen, but they did mention in their announcement last week that they're thinking already about how to monetize this, but currently not natively.
Yeah, and if you're your own brand, and you have your own products, yes, you can start monetizing Instagram immediately. Anywhere, really. It doesn't matter if there's a partner program or not. That's the way I approach it, and usually encourage other people to do it, is figure out what value, what's the value proposition of your content or your business or your channel or whatever the case may be, and then how do you sell that value? You provide 1x of it through your videos or your content or whatever, and then you provide 10x of it in a format people are willing to pay for, and I think that's the way you monetize anything. And then even at that point, you're the brand, you have your own audience, and advertising dollars just kind of becomes pennies at that point. So Patty also asked a good question. Thank you also, Patty, for being a sponsor. Do you suggest starting a whole new different Instagram account for your channel, or like when do you just kind of keep it personal, and when do you kind of align a new account with your channel?
It really depends, again, on your audience. So if you already have an Instagram account that is personal, and maybe it doesn't include a lot of the stuff that you're putting on your YouTube channel that your subscribers are watching, you might consider branching off, into a separate Instagram account. I mean, think of it as a different brand. And figuring out is this audience interested in what I'm doing here? If you already have a large Instagram following, personally, I would just start uploading my videos to that account so that you start getting that early engagement. I mean, if you don't have followers on your new account for a while, nobody's going to be watching those videos anyway. So you'd really have to make a concerted effort to grow your audience there from scratch, no matter what.
So you have multiple accounts. Tell us about the strategy behind how you decided to go from, which is, I don't know which one you want to share here. You can plug whichever ones you want. But what was your thinking and strategy behind launching the new ones?
Yeah, so my main account is at Catchfoot, and that's kind of a catch-all account. It's a little bit of my personal life. It's a little bit of like behind the scenes in my business, a lot of my kids. I made the decision to spin off my business account into Catchfoot and Run, which is the name of my business, because I already had, more than 1,000 people who were following me on my main account, and they signed up to get that catch-all smattering of my life. They like seeing my kids. They like, seeing what I'm eating for lunch sometimes. And those people who were there before I started my business started to feel a little removed from me when I began posting more professional content or started promoting myself as a coach and a consultant. So I made the decision to spin it off, and I'm only doing content that pertains to my business and, motivational stuff for my clients on my business account. And people can choose to follow both or one or the other, but I don't feel like I'm alienating my hardcore followers who are there from the beginning by forcing that new stuff on them.
That's the way I think about it too. It's like, what is the value people followed me for? And if I start posting something that's kind of outside that main value, or maybe it's just a different target audience for the same value, it depends on kind of how you look at it. I feel like that's when you should kind of think of a different account at that point. And yeah.
I actually have a flow chart for this. I'm going to plug this.
Okay. Yeah.
On my website, you can find and download a flow chart that's literally called "Should I Start a New Instagram Account?" or basically just keep using the same one. I work with a lot of people who are going out on new ventures or are kind of pivoting, and they have this is the most common question that I get. So I actually created a resource for this, and maybe I'll send you a link for the description.
Yep. You can find that in the show notes, or just what's the website URL?
Yeah.
Can you just tell what's the website URL?
Sorry, catchfootandrun.com.
Okay, cool.
And /blog, and it's in there. You can search for it.
All right, great. Chris, Conkle Vlogs, I think is how you say it. Thank you, Chris, for being a sponsor as well. What is the best way to edit video on mobile, whether it's a paid app or not paid? Do you have an app that you recommend for editing portrait videos for IGTV?
Once again, I am not the foremost expert on this. I have not created a ton of IGTV content myself, but I have asked around, and a lot of people, believe it or not, are just using iMovie on their iPhones. So they're filming natively using the camera app and then just like chopping it up. I think you can add some pretty basic text and music using iMovie. Play around. That's what I'm probably going to continue using because I don't want to learn a bunch of new apps.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about LumaFusion as like a really recommended power editor. It's kind of like it's got sequences and timelines. It's kind of more for someone who's more familiar with Premiere or something like that. And I know Adobe has Project Rush that's in beta right now as well. which will be more professional video editing on tablets and mobile devices also, which will mirror more what we're used to in After Effects and Premiere. So for the super hardcore, that's coming. And in the meantime, maybe iMovie is what I'll probably be using, but I might grab Luma Fusion just to kind of check that out as well. So let's see here. Justina, thank you for being a sponsor, Justina. So to clarify, your IGTV videos can be pushed to viewers you are not already connected to?
On Instagram, yeah, that's correct. I think it might be different if you have a private account, but if you have a public account and you're uploading video content through IGTV, the idea is that you're getting exposed to more people through the discovery or the recommendation tab within IGTV. They're trying to guess what people want to watch. And if you're creating content that includes hashtags or is in some way identifiable as something you might want to watch, I think it could be a great opportunity for channel growth.
Great, yeah. And Blair Gubberneth asks a similar question. How does the search engine work on IGTV? Like, is search engines confusing? You want to tackle that one or no?
I mean, I would love to tackle that one, but I honestly don't. I don't know enough about Instagram and how their algorithms work to answer that one effectively.
I personally almost never go into the search or discovery. The only time I go into the search is if I'm looking for like a friend or a specific user and just need it. But other than that, like my little search tab on Instagram is just people either I don't care about, to be totally honest, or it's just like Hollywood music, movie people, and I'm like, that's nice that he's drinking a Coke, and I'm just kind of like, that's like I
don't
guess
tell us too much, because what I do know about how the Explore tab works with photos and video on Instagram is it's individualized for every single user. So what you see is completely different than what I see. And what I do understand about how those recommendations are formulated is it's all based on your own engagement. So Instagram knows if you're liking or commenting on, say, fitness videos or transformation videos or baby photos, and they're going to show you more and more of that and try to guess again, what type of content and what type of creators you're going to engage with and start following as a result. So that's why I said don't tell us too much, because it's going to say a lot about your personal.
My perception is that it's just like they don't know me because I've never engaged with anything there.
That's why.
Or I don't know. I'm too busy just going through my feed and like, I'm good. Longwire asks, and we answered the first half of this, but I want to kind of get the second half. How does IGTV work with reference to YouTube, which we talked about? But the second part is, how are we supposed to get the audience if anyone doesn't have that many followers? So like you're starting at 0, how would you even start getting some traction on IGTV?
I mean, the same way that you are going to start getting traction on any new platform where you're starting from scratch. Leverage what you do have. If you have a YouTube following or a Twitter following or just your friends and family on Facebook, you have to let those people know, hey, I'm now on IGTV. Hey, come follow me on Instagram. Give them the link. Make it super easy. Tell them exactly what you expect them to do. Follow me or go like and comment, just like you see all the time on YouTube. Be very prescriptive. And that's how you've got to start.
Yep.
Or collaboration. Find somebody bigger than you on Instagram to shout you out.
Yep. Rand MK Productions. Will all uploads to IGTV need to be done from mobile devices?
Yeah. As far as I know, it's all coming directly from your phone. So when I uploaded my first IGTV video, I thought that I might have the opportunity to film it right there on the spot, but no, it actually forces you to go into your or your video library and select something that's been pre-recorded from that mobile destination. So if it's on your first phone, you're going to have to send it to yourself and upload it directly from your device.
Right. So the way I do it, and there's a lot of different ways you can do it, but I export the video from Premiere, save it into Dropbox, and then I open up the Dropbox app once it's done syncing, and I just export it from Dropbox onto my camera or my camera reel. Yeah, at that point. But there's a lot of different ways you could do it, but that's how I just. Is there a more efficient way to do that, or is that the best way? I'm not even sure.
I don't know. I see, and that's why I think that this is really going to appeal more to the novice and the new and the casual video creators than it is the big splashy professionals who are doing a ton of graphics and edits, because it's kind of a cumbersome process to do all of that editing and have a huge file.
Right. Well, you have like Zach King, for example. His videos are very produced, obviously, and so he did all this just with his own Instagram account, with getting those videos into his phone, posting them to his account. So it's doable, but it's not super simple. So
yeah.
And got a good question here from Haunted Road Media. Thank you, Mike, for being a sponsor as well. Are you able to go live on Instagram TV? And if so, is there a way to simulcast with other platforms? Or is IGTV only an upload platform? Do you know?
As far as I know, it's upload only.
That's
now, Instagram does have Instagram Live as a feature. I'm not sure what the time limit is on live streaming on Instagram, but outside of the IG feature or standalone app, you can go live today and have been for a while on the platform. You just won't be able to live stream pre-recorded content unless you've got two phones looking at each other, which I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah. TubeBuddy asks a question, and then I kind of want to combine this with someone else's question. TubeBuddy asks what we kind of talked about earlier. If someone publishes a YouTube video to Instagram TV, would they want to edit the video to fit vertically, or simply publish a horizontal video and just kind of take the cropping, whatever Instagram does with that? And then kind of along with that, Clueless Mama asks, is it better to format the videos that have already been filmed in landscape and then just cropping them, or is it best to just shoot them in portrait?
So you have to shoot it in portrait, or it already has to be reformatted into a vertical orientation. When you open up that video upload feature within the Instagram app, it's actually only going to show you properly formatted videos. So if you have horizontal footage in your camera, you won't even have access to it. So there's no reformatting that happens in the app. You will only have access to those that were in vertical or portrait mode already. Yeah, so I would either re-edit them and recut them for portrait, or just shoot them on your phone. Although there's one little hack that I saw someone on Instagram TV do already, which is they took their 16:9 and their editor just flipped it 90 degrees and saved it, so it looks like a portrait. So they uploaded that, but then when you're looking at it, you just have to turn your phone sideways to watch it. So that'll be interesting to see how many people just start doing that. I was like, that's kind of a good idea, or at least I do agree that portrait's probably better because that's just the way you're holding it in your hand. And then to flip it sideways, I could watch it okay, but then like anything with comments and everything was all like in text that was part of Instagram was like kind of weird. So I was like, okay, maybe. But I don't know. Since you mentioned the hack that you found, I'll mention the one that I just saw a few minutes ago. Somebody did have a landscape horizontal video, and they added all of their graphics and text beneath them. So they almost made they used the entire vertical space and like video was all of the text, and another third was like a static photo. So there are ways to get around it.
Yeah, cool.
But I think, again, the intention is mobile first.
Right. Well, those of you guys who are sponsors, we're going to be live streaming here during our call-in show and you guys are watching the live stream. So if you're not a sponsor already, you can actually call in here in about 15 minutes to another stream that you'll find on my community tab. You guys can check that out. But for people who are here, how can they get in touch with you, Rachel? Where should they check out what you're doing online, your Instagrams, your websites, your tweets? Are you doing YouTube or no?
Gosh, I need to be doing YouTube.
You don't have to be. I was just curious. That's all.
Much like Instagram, I have like 6 different YouTube channels that all have like 3 or 4 different videos on them. I'm not going to tell you to go follow any of those yet.
Okay.
I'm most active on Instagram. You can follow my all-encompassing account if you want to get to know me at Catchfoot. And if you're interested in what I'm doing now professionally in helping female entrepreneurs and small and medium businesses really hone their brand and figure out how to take it to the next level, you can follow my new business account at Catchfoot and Run. So you'll find it there every day.
Yes, and if you like avocados, you will see plenty of that too.
So many avocados.
And I'll put links to all of her stuff in the show notes so you guys can check it out, especially the article she wrote about Instagram being or not being a YouTube killer. And I think it's a good post to kind of bring us all up to speed on what we're doing here. If you're not subscribed already, we'd love to have you click the subscribe button. If you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening to the podcast of this, we'd love to have you follow along. We got new episodes every week. We live stream every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time and episodes on every Tuesday. Just to kind of help you guys continue to grow your audience, reach people so that it's not just about making money, not just about views and popularity and subscribers and all that, but ultimately using those things as tools so you can reach people and change their lives. So I know Rachel's all about doing that. In fact, one of the things you guys hear me say, I actually stole it from Rachel and I haven't properly footnoted her, I don't think, which is, you said this, Rachel, during the YouTube certification in San Bruno years ago. And you said, I'm like, yes, that is exactly like words for what I was feeling, which was every view, every subscriber represents an actual real person. And then I took it a little bit further, which was like, so they're giving you an opportunity to speak into your life. What are you going to do with that opportunity? So no pressure or anything, guys, but Rachel definitely believes that as well. So you guys can go check her out. And thank you guys for hanging out. And we'll see you guys again next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks so much.